Hi, this video is going to explain how to add or edit products on the new Cameo collection website. You can see here I've found my way to the Cameo shop page, and we've set up some demo products just to start getting a feel for how the website looks. But we'll go ahead and add another product and make some edits so you can see how that's done. You'll need to start by finding your way to the WordPress administration area. We'll provide instructions separately on how to get here. But once you've gotten here successfully, I will ask you to find the portfolio section over here on the left. And you can see underneath here there's a few options. We're going to start by going to portfolio. And here you can see we have entries for 4 different products. And these are in fact the same 4 products that appear on the front of the site. So we're going to add a new one. We'll start just by clicking here at Add New. You'd also have been able to click on Portfolio, Add New, making sure to stay in the Portfolio section. Once you've done that, that brings you to a screen here where we're going to add a product. It's relatively simple. There's quite a few things on the screen that may not be relevant to you most of the time, so we'll focus on what actually is important in order to get a product onto the site. So we're not going to be creative, we're just going to create product 5 since it's the 5th one. That is followed by 2 fields that are important for linking the product to PayPal for purchasing. The first is the item number, and this is just your internal reference. It doesn't mean anything to PayPal, of course, but it will be included on any receipts that you get. And the second the second entry that's really important is obviously the price. When entering the price, just enter the numeric value. You can see the dollar signs already here. You don't need that. Don't enter commas for the thousands place. Just keep it nice and simple. So, for example, if this item costs $1,295, just enter $1,295 without any additional markup there. A little bit lower, there's this big area with all these editing tools like bold and italic and smileys. This is where you'll enter the description. So the description of the Cameo, and there's a lot of room for technique when describing products. Obviously, it's something I'm sure you've been doing for a long time. We may cover some web advice separately, but as far as we're concerned here, this is where you would enter that description. Moving over here to the right, there's simply some categories. You can check off as many as you want. You can change them later. And I don't think you'll have to worry about this primary thing. It's not that important. It basically means that of all the categories the product's in, one of them is the main category. But it will show all of these on the front of the site, and we'll look at that in a minute. And then actually moving up, there's this featured image. There's actually 2 places you're going to set the image. This one, you can use separate images, but I have a feeling you might often use the same one. But just for how it works, I'm going to click on Set Featured Image. And that's going to bring me to what's called the media library, which is all these images that have already been uploaded. If your image is already in here, you would simply click on it here and choose Set Featured Image. We're doing something new, so I'm gonna add one just by going to Upload Files, and I could either hit Select Files or I could literally just drag an image on. Now, as you can imagine, I don't really have any appropriate Cameo images, but I do have this picture of a koala. So I'm just going to drag that onto the screen. It will take a minute to upload. In the background, it's usually really quick. It might take a minute only because it's kind of creating a few different sizes of the image and doing just getting the image ready for the web. Give it another few seconds, but yeah, it's doing all the kind of work that you would normally have to do manually. So this makes it nice and easy, and there he is. So once the image is here, just like on the other screen, I'm just going to hit Set Featured Image, and that is going to make that the image for this product. Now, there is actually one other place you need to set an image. For these purposes, I'm going to use the same image. But down here, this code portfolio images. choose your portfolio images. You can see it says here, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit upload, and it's actually going to bring me to a very similar screen, except it's going to show items that I've already included, and you can actually hit add to gallery, and you get very similar to that last screen we looked at. You can hit add to gallery and hit upload images and just drag your images in. If there's only one, then you would just drag one. Whatever works. For these purposes, I'm just going to choose the same koala image. Or I guess, actually, sorry, to show you how it works, I'm going to go to add to gallery, and because this is something that's never been on the site, I'm going to make sure I'm on the upload files tab, and I guess this time we will change it up and we will add penguins. And don't worry, I'll clean up these images before I send things over to you. So once again, it's just going to take 15-20 seconds here to prepare that image for the web. And any second now, it should be, there we go. And I'm going to hit add to gallery. Actually, this is actually allowing me to have multiple images. So I'm just going to go ahead and just want the penguins here. You could have just the X, of course, removes it. So we now have it's called a gallery, but we just have the one image. I'm going to hit update gallery, and there we go. So what did we do? We added a title. We gave it an item number. We gave it a price without adding any kind of commas. If you need to add cents, that's fine. You just don't need to, for example, do 1,000, 295. We gave it a little description. We chose some categories. We gave it a featured image, and by doing two different images, it's going to let me show you what that lets you do. So we have the koala as our featured image, and then we added a portfolio image with these penguins. When everything looks good to me, I'm just going to go ahead and hit publish. And this is just saving everything we just did. And the page is going to reload. And I know it reloaded because it says post published. And the publish button is now an update button. Now, instead of doing that, because I already have this open, I'm just going to look at the front of the site. You can see we're here on the Shop Cameos page, and here's the 4 that were here before. So I'm going to just hit this again to reload the page. And there we go. Now we have product 5. And you'll notice it's using the featured image. That was that image that was over on the right that we added first. Now if I hit view on product 5, we're going to load up the information so you can see what things look like. And you'll notice it doesn't use the koala, it uses the penguins. So that is a visual demonstration of the difference between the featured image, which is used when we're looking at it small, and the portfolio images, which is used when we're looking at it big. And if you did have multiple images, I'm going to go ahead and add that koala back into. So now the koala is in both the featured image and he's in the gallery. And now I've hit update. When you make an edit, you do want to hit update to make sure you've saved everything. And back here on the front of the site, I'll refresh. And you can see there's now both images are appearing. So let's look at the other information we added. We have the title up here in the nice, beautiful, scripty font. We have the description we added. We have the price. Now you'll notice one of the reasons I ask you not to enter things like the $ and the comma in the back end is because it's actually automatically formatted into a dollar amount on the front end. So if you add your own in, it should work, but it might not look ideal. Now, so these are the few little changes we made to the order form. Before you had the standard off-the-shelf PayPal buttons, which are fine, they're familiar to people, but it doesn't look like it's really meshing with your website that well. We also noticed that you had two shipping options, where you had normal shipping through, I guess, priority mail that was included in the price, and you also had express shipping for an additional $20. It seemed like that was consistent throughout your site. We'll double check that, but for now, that's automatically created. So you don't have to I don't know how exactly you were creating the buttons before. It looked like you were getting the buttons from PayPal. maybe manually for each one. I'm not sure, but we've actually streamlined that extremely well. So now all you need to tell the site is the item number and the price, and it will do the rest. And I'll demonstrate that in a moment. And then we have this begin order button, so they can go and begin the checkout process. We've tried to be really clear with our messaging that you have a variety of credit cards you can use, but that no PayPal account is necessary. And before we test the PayPal, this is simply where those categories are listed. So when I checked these on the right, those are the three that will now show up here. When I do begin order, and I've chosen the express shipping, so it's going to take me here. It's taking me right to PayPal. I'm not gonna actually do the checkout, obviously. And you'll notice it's giving a nice breakdown. It's telling me that I'm buying product 5. If I click on more, it's carried over the product number, so that information will all be in the email you get from them. It does break down the item total and the shipping, so it's clear to the person purchasing what they're paying for the item and what they're paying for the shipping, and of course the total. So all that information is carried through to the checkout. And if I simply change this and don't choose the upgraded shipping option, and I go back to the checkout screen, you'll notice it is still product 5, it is still PD 5, but now there's no shipping option included. So we've gotten rid of the need for 2 buttons and made it a little more of a traditional checkout. If you wanted to edit an item, once again from the WordPress administration screen, I'm going to go back to that portfolio list. And you can see now we have 5 products because of course we added one. I'm going to edit product 1. And you can see, of course, this is just mostly some, temporary information. But we have all the same. But it's all here. It's all just what we entered before. We have a product name. We have an item number. We have a price. We have some description text. We have some categories chosen. We have a featured image, and we have the portfolio image. And all of these things are edited the exact same way you added them in the first place. So if this is not supposed to be in rings, you would just uncheck that. And if you wanted to change the featured image, you could just click on that, and you could choose one of these other images, or you could upload a new image. Removing it simply means the post or the product shouldn't have an image, so that's less likely to be used, but it is there. And likewise, you can add images or remove images, or I believe you can even rearrange them. So that's all very simple. It's only so you don't get overwhelmed. There is some additional things further down. A lot of these are not used for what we're doing, and we'll probably be able to clean some of these up, maybe so they won't be taking up so much space. Because what I've just showed you today is really the ones you'll be editing most often. I will say that anytime you do make a change here, you are going to want to hit update. It's the same as a save button. If you don't hit that, none of your changes will actually be saved. One thing, just a tip for helping get around the site, is when you're on the edit screen, they give you this permalink. And if I click on that, it's going to take me to this product 1 on the front end of the site. So here's our product 1. And as long as you're logged in at all, to the WordPress administration area, this black bar at the top is going to be very helpful. It gives you a couple links, but the one of most relevance is edit portfolio item, because if you're on the front of the site and you see, oh, this shouldn't be $2, we're gonna lose a lot of money selling this for $2. You just hit edit portfolio item up here at the top, and that is going to do the reverse of what we just said. It's going to take you from a product page to the corresponding edit page. So that's just a helpful tip for getting around the site and kind of going back and forth between the back end and the front end. I'm going to just quickly go over this one more time. The important fields when adding or editing a portfolio, a product, I know they're called portfolio items, but for you they're products, is the title, the item number, which is your own internal reference number, the price, which should be entered just as it describes here, just the numbers, a description of your product, some categories, the featured image, which is shown in the small form when you're, for example, on the shop and you're looking at a lot of different products. That gives you that is separated out to give you the opportunity to maybe do like a zoomed in a little closer to the actual artwork, whereas down here the portfolio images are how you can show however many product images you'd like to show, and that's really looks really beautiful with the like the context, having it against a pattern. So that is it. Aside from making sure you hit update, unless you want your changes to be lost onto the internet forever, that is about it. And if you have any questions, you should definitely feel comfortable emailing any of us, and we'll be happy to help.